This is lesson 4.3, problem 2. So let's look at the problem. Now, problem 2 states data on gasoline tax per gallon in cents as of a certain date for the 50 U.S. states and the District of Columbia are shown below. So we have the tax per gallon in cents. I think the lowest is Alaska, which is 9.1, and the highest is Pennsylvania, which is 51.3. Now, as of right now, you don't know whether 51.3 is an outlier or 9.1 is an outlier. We're going to have to test for that. And to test for that, we need to know the inner quartile range. So let's see if we can go to SALT and get all the necessary information that we need. So it has loaded. Now what we'll do is stop sharing. And I will go back to sharing, and I will pick up the screen that comes from SALT and descriptive statistics. Now I'm going to stop share and come back because I don't know whether this picks it up or not. So let me go to that screen. And this gives us all the necessary information that we need. So I'll write it down. We have Q1 equal to 20.8. We have Q2, which is the median, 26.4. And Q3, which is the upper quartile, is equal to 31.3. Okay. Now, we have a minimum value of 9.1, but that might be an outlier. So I don't want to assign that as the minimum yet. I want to check to see if it is an outlier. And if it is an outlier, then we'll go to the next value, minimum value, which is just smaller than that, or just larger than that. And we'll do the same thing for the 51.3. So let me close this. Okay. And I'm going to go here's the data that we got. We can, they usually construct the box plot vertically. I'm going to go ahead and just write it down. Won't need a scale or anything, but at least you can see where we're going. We have something that looks like this. Until we test, we don't know what the min and the max is. But you know, Q1 is here. Somewhere in here is Q2. And you know, this is Q3. Now, we're going to test for outliers. We've got 9.1, which could be a minimum. We're going to test to see if that is an outlier. And 51.3. I'm going to test for outliers. Now, if this happens to be 31.3, and this is 20.8. And now we'll find the IQR. That's the inner quartile range, and that's going to equal Q3 minus Q1, which is going to equal 31.3 minus 20.8, which comes out to be 10 something. The next 10.5. So this comes out to be 10.5. Now, if I take the 31.3 and add the 10.5 to it, okay, and if I get a value out here, this is going to be a point, which is going to be Q3 plus 1 or IQR, which in this case is going to equal 31.3 plus QR, which is 10.5. Okay. And in that case, that's going to be 47 something, I believe. 47.8, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. It is. If I add, I have to take, excuse me, let me back in. Because what I know is this, but I'm going to add because I'm checking to see if I have at least a moderate outline, and that is taking Q3 and adding 1.5 times 10.5. And that will give me, I believe, I take the 15, this gives me Q3, which is 31.3, and this comes out to be plus 15.75. I'm trying to find a threshold, because anything larger than Q3 plus 1.5 times IRQ, okay, it comes out to be 47.05. So anything larger than 47.05 is an outlier on this upper end. So you take Q3 and you add 1.5 times IRQ, and that gives us 47.05. Now on this end, we have 15.75. That was to be 1.5 times pi over QR, inner quartile range. And that gives us 5.05. So if you take 20.8 and subtract 15.75, we get 5.08. So anything to the left of here or to the right of here is considered an outlier. So the 51.3 is greater than 47.05, so that is an outlier. So 51.3 is an outlier. Now, what about the 9.1? Is it an outlier? Well, 9.1 is not less than 5.05, so 9.1 is not an outlier. Okay. An outlier, what you do is take the unit quartile range, which is right here, which is 10.5, multiply it times 1.5, and add it to Q3. And if any value from your raw data set is larger than 47.05, it's considered an outlier. And happens to be that 51.3 is an outlier. Now, 51.3 cannot represent the maximum here, because the maximum cannot be an outlier. So I think the next one down is 44 point something, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Let's go back to sharing the screen. And I think 44.5 is the next one. And 44.5 is less than 47.05. Remember, 47.05 was the threshold to determine whether something is an outlier. So this is the maximum. 44.5 is the maximum. And since 9.1 was not an outlier, it happens to be the minimum. So, what do we have? Pennsylvania is 51.3, and it is greater than 47.05, is what we calculated. So it is an outlier, but Alaska is not. Does it have to be less than 0.05? Now we've already determined this. To be an outlier, it must be greater than 47.05. Remember, that's what on that end, and 5.05 on that end. And 0.5 on this end. Now, I want to talk to you a little, just a little bit. This is Q on the upper end, Q3 plus 1.5 times the inner quartile range. Okay, and this is the lower, which is Q1, minus I think it was, what we managed was 15.75, which is 1.5 times the inner quartile range, okay? And that's how we got those two figures. Okay? And now we got to construct the blocks. Well, it's shown vertically. The minimum we said was 9.1 because it was not an outlier, so it's 9.1. We also know that this line here is Q1, and Q1 was 20.8. It's about here. And we know that Q2, or the median, was 26.4. There's 25, so it's just about 26.4. And we know also that Q3 is, we said, was 31.3. And there's 31.3. And we said that 44 could be a 44 could be a max because it's not an outlier, it's less than 47.05. So 44.5 is a max, and that is just right there. And 51.3 is an outlier. And we represent outliers if it's a moderate, it's a solid dot. If it is a extreme outlier, it's an open dot, like an open circle represented. So this represents our box plot. Okay. Now, the box plot shows that a typical gas tax is around, well, that's the median. And the median was 26.4. So it's around 26 cents, okay? Around 26 cents. That the 50% of the gasoline lies below between 21 and 31 cents a gallon. So I would say the minimum range will go from, let's see here. The minimum 50%, that's Q2, which is 26.4. Okay. 26.4 to 21 and 31 cents a gallon. I see the 31, but I don't see the 21. But it is 31, because this happens to be close to Q sub 3. Okay, 31. And the 21 is down to Q3. So talk about from Q1 to Q3. Okay. And it's approximately symmetric. If you look at it, it's approximately symmetric. Okay. And we had one outlet in the distribution. And we got all that information really from the box plot. Okay, thank you.